typically starts on the European cash close. So we're going to get that about halfway through the presentation today and have the Genesis bar wrapped up probably by the end of the presentation. And I see Tom is logged in. He's not speaking yet, so let's go ahead and let Tom and everybody else know where you guys logging in from. Give a quick weather report where you are. Typically the way we start these. Want to see what things are like around the world. I can tell you in Mobile, it is 87 degrees right now. We are expecting sunny skies throughout most of the day. A little bit of cloudiness this afternoon, but only a 15% chance of rain. And Frank's sitting over there, 59 in Sacramento. Frank keeps throwing out those numbers, Tom. I think he's bragging.
What'd Frank do?
59 degrees in Sacramento. I think
yeah.
He's enjoying that Sacramento weather.
Absolutely. 74 there in North Carolina. Huh.
Yeah, we got Phoenix at 92. That's about what I would expect. Sunny and hot in Orlando. How's the weather down there in Jacksonville, Tom?
Well, I was out early this morning, and then I haven't been out, midday here, but it looks bright and sunny. But this morning it was sort of nice. Had a lot of wind blowing in, and so it's pretty cool, really. This morning.
Yeah. I'm not surprised you got a lot of wind. You still have Hurricane Erin sitting out there in the Atlantic. Should be directly east of you guys. I don't think it's going to be much of an impact, but you get a little bit of wind coming off of that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, what you got to do is just, you got to manage your day like you got to manage your life, right? You don't want to get out there and in the heat of the day. You want to plan when you're outside. You got to get outside. You can't stay inside. And but I tell you, I like the weather here, Chuck, because there seems like there's always a good breeze, and it could be hot outside, but if you got a good breeze. Now I remember Mobile, we used to laugh when people would come to Mobile in August. We could tell if they were from out of state because they'd be outside. Everybody in Mobile would stay inside in August because it was so hot.
Yeah.
And that was a telltale sign when you would see people outside. Oh, they must be from some other state being outside today.
Yeah, in that old building, we had a nice little breeze because we were kind of up on the hill, right?
Right.
So that worked out for us. But down there in Ponte Vedra and Jacksonville, you get that nice little breeze because you step outside and there's nothing between you and the Atlantic Ocean and all that wind coming through, pushing those waves. So I remember I was staying at the Margaritaville Hotel up in Jax Beach when I visited last time. And when you step out of the shadow of the hotel.
I remember.
That wind just hit you.
I remember that. I hope we never go back to that place again. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. But
I think it's a fine hotel. I don't know how it does in terms of like doing big production things. That would be a little bit different.
The internet was terrible. And that's I judge everything based on the internet, Chuck, because if the internet's bad, it leads to things happening, creates a lot of extra work. But if you got good internet, then you're cooking with gas, and so that's a nice thing about it. But it's I've been my postings, Chuck. I don't know if you noticed the tone I've taken since Tuesday morning, which was the setup's not good. Even today, I put a pivot number way above the fray, 64.45, because I don't want to get into this thing to the long side. I've never been much at catching falling knives, and I mean, I guess when you trade as long as I have, you don't need that emotional catch. Now, one thing to have a good stock and hold on to it, but it's another thing to be putting a new position on. You want to wait until the dust settles. And I remember posting, I said, Monday night with my futures people, I said, unless this thing gets above 84, you got to stay away. That was Monday morning. That's right. 84, you got to stay away. And we haven't been back up there after that initial rally up to 84, 64, 84. So the market's been in a decline. And this is the kind of market, this is the kind of market you have to either be trading futures or trade real short term, or you have a plan. And that's why I'm so focused on the SPX, because we might have more of this. And, I want to take advantage of that, because there's some potential there that just everybody needs to learn about. And that's what we're doing right now, doing a lot of training. In fact, write this down. I added a flash meeting today at 3:30. We'll call it part 2 of Train and Trade. My idea there, I want to cover more of the XSP this afternoon. And so at 3:30, if you can make it, you ought to make it. If you can't make it, you definitely want to watch the recording, because it will be good. Now,
Tom, I was asked earlier, what do I attribute the market moving down to? And my answer was there's a myriad of different things, but something just popped in my head. I was just thinking about this while you were talking. Mm-hmm. Remember back when the Fed was making changes a lot, like even before the Powell time? You have to go back to Bernanke and even, what's his name, Greenspan. Whenever it came time to the Fed's about to make a statement and everybody wants to try and influence that statement, if the market wanted to see a cut in rates, what would they typically do before that big Fed statement?
Yeah.
You get a little bit of a drop. I wonder if that's part of the attribution of what we see going on in this market.
Well, it could be. And, one of the things that's interesting, there are some stocks going up. You might take a look at ETH. It's going up. Berkshire finally came out of its 4-month penalized people that owned it. It's actually looking pretty good. Berkshire and ETH. ETH looks to me like that's a stock I really want to own right now. It's a little high risk, but I think it's a good stock. I bought a little bit of that this morning. I might buy a little bit more if I'm up by the end of the day. But anyway, ETH is 2 stocks that I've looked at. I own Berkshire. I probably want to add to Berkshire. Might consider an option play if it stays strong above 490. I posted my Magic 5 this morning in the TNT as one of my 5 stocks. I said, we ought to take a look at it again. That's Berkshire. But other than those 2, can you believe we were 100% on our power program this week? It was Uber. I've been talking about Uber, and we made some money on Uber, and Uber actually paid the power people, so that was good. But I'm telling you, this is not a market that you'll see me doing a lot of trading in, because I'm waiting for the next big move to position myself, because it's going to be good after this. I call it the breathing stage.
Now, I do think a move like this kind of emphasizes why you should have a maybe wide and diverse bullpen of stocks that you typically go and look at, because not all stocks move at the same time in the same way. And so when you have underperforming tech stocks, you look at something more like a Berkshire or retail. I think Walmart's doing pretty good today. I'm a big fan of Home Depot. That they reported earnings which weren't that great.
Yeah, you made a good call on that yesterday. And then I looked at it today, and Lowe's followed up with good earnings, and so those 2 areas, actually have performed pretty well. Target was a disaster this morning. Went down. It went up to 110, and then fell $15, dropped down to about 91, 92. Hadn't checked it lately. Yeah, it's 96. It still hadn't recovered, but it really had a negative range.
Apparently, they picked a new CEO and sales were off. That was the 2 big things. So change in leadership, that's never going to be a very positive thing.
Right.
And less than stellar report. So,
well, why don't we get into it, Chuck? Because you're going to talk about what we were talking about this morning, sector rotation, and I've got some things I need to cover for people. So there's risk involved in trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. In my opinion, market's in a bull market, and I gave everybody a number this morning. It was 63.75. We don't want to see us close below that. If it closes above that, we have a reversal. Then you might have saw the low. We'll know as early as tomorrow, we get above today's high, which today's high for the S&P, you need to know that, and let me give it to everybody. It is 64.38. You know, my pivot number 64.45. But if today ends up being the low, there'll be plenty of time, you know, to take some long plays later, in my opinion. All right, take it away, Chuck.
Yeah, and this is where we get to talk a little bit about that sector rotation. Now, this is at the end of the day, Tuesday. This screenshot is from last night, around 10 o'clock your time, Tom, so after your bedtime. We're looking at tech down, retail up, with an earnings focus on the retail. And Target was already showing you a little bit of they're not expecting great things. But you can see I've got Ross Stores, which reports on Friday. Target, which we got that information today. Walmart reports tomorrow. HD reported on Tuesday. I think TJ Maxx comes out today. And you can just look at the difference between those big tech stocks. NVIDIA, AMD, Apple, Palantir, Tesla, all taking a hit on Tuesday. And the retail side of things, and I got the QQQ and the diamond up here just to show you a little bit of difference. There is definitely more than one thing going on. Tech is down, retail was up. And even coming into today, I think that the tech side is sort of pulling the retail side down a bit. And of course, we know that Target was down in overnight trading. They're actually up, Tom, from the open of RB3. They're up about 2%.
I was looking at it in the pre-market, Chuck. I like to trade Target earnings. And this morning I got in for a second and was out in 2 seconds, lost a little bit of money, so I had a heck with Target.
But doing a little bit better since the open of RB3, up about 2%.
But I feel good because I got out of the one I was losing money on. I got out at 97.80. So where's it trading?
96.64. So nice job on that one.
I'm still doing good with my loss. I like it. Okay.
Yeah, right. And then let's see, TJ Maxx is looking, they're down about 2% right now. So giving up a little bit of those gains. Even HD, I'm a little bit upset there. 405.11 at this point. And last night, 407.29, but staying above the 400 area, which I think is important there. But the big question is this a sector rotation or is it just a blip in time? And the bottom line is we don't know the answer to that question because I left my crystal ball at the office in Mobile, which is closer to me than yours is, which I think is also in the office. Although the way your trades have been going, I kind of think you snuck it out there and brought it down to Jacksonville with you. But we don't really know what's going to happen. Our job is to observe and report. And what we're observing right now is that drop in the high-tech AI chip maker type stocks. And we see a little push up in retail, but is it that retail is doing great? I think when you look at Target's report and HD's report, no, retail isn't doing that great. So it seems to me like this is take profit out of one place, and we're going to try and take advantage of earnings season. Like this week isn't retail week. So this could be a short-term thing, and everything could change around on Friday. I mentioned the FOMC. We got Chair Powell speaking at Jackson Hole. I think that could be kind of a turning point in this market. We've got the rest of today, and I assume we're going to be talking.
Remember, you got Walmart tomorrow. Now, Walmart, let's just talk about Walmart. If Walmart comes out with good earnings, they're above 100, they're going to 110. I think that would diffuse or maybe support your take on it, Chuck. If Walmart runs and goes up to 110, that's going to alleviate a lot of what I would call fear, because people are fearful that they're going to come out and say that, hey, they can't deal with this tariff thing. But I got a feeling that Walmart's going to manage their company pretty good. So we'll see. That's going to be big earnings.
And really, the guidances have been good. I think that's one of the big things. Even Target and HD, which gave us less than stellar earnings reports, their outlook has been positive, and that's one of the things that's helping that retail sector. But the other thing that's helping that retail sector is you've got money freed up from the AI tech sector. So if it's just a quick little blip change, it could turn around real quickly. I mean, NVIDIA, we were looking at them at 175 last night. They're down at 171 right now. If you
let me make a comment on NVIDIA since you brought it up.
Yeah.
I went through, and you'll see this later on in the presentation when I'm doing my part, but NVIDIA, if you go look at the reference bar this morning, NVIDIA's reference bar was 175 to 170, and it did not break where a couple of these other tech stocks did break. Like if you look at MU, it broke, MU broke, Palantir broke, but it's pretty interesting how they broke. And folks, when I'm talking about breaking down, I'm talking about getting below RB3. That's what I'm talking about. And I'll show you what I do. But I do it because it makes me money, and we'll cover that in a second. But go on, Chuck.
I agree with you completely. If you look at NVIDIA, and we'll probably do that in the charts a little bit later with the live charts, it was a follower today, not a leader. And that's a great point, is that it wasn't leading that move down. That move down was coming from other places. I think we didn't break down until about an hour after the reference bar. So great point there. But the other side of that is, once we see the market hold, there is definitely room for those AI chip stocks to come back into play, right? So this could be just a short-term thing, or it could be a sector rotation. But watch the sectors that are doing well right now. The question is, do they continue doing well once we get past a bunch of the news items, whether it be Walmart reporting tomorrow, Chair Powell speaking on Friday morning, or just getting through the weekend, getting into next week where the earnings reports are a little bit less retail focused. Does retail keep going? If it keeps going, you've got a sector rotation. If we start to see things flip back around, then it's just a blip on the screen. And I think that's the biggest issue here, is don't project out too far. The market's going to tell you everything you need to know. You just have to be patient enough to wait for it to tell you.
Yeah, and don't be biased, okay? Do not be biased, because you will find when you look at the market, it will pay you if you read the numbers, what they're telling you. You know, they're not trying to hide the fact that right now the tech stocks, are coming off their highs, and they're coming off a pretty good rate of drop. And that it's not a slow thing, is all I'm saying. Not slow. Okay.
Yeah, and take NVIDIA, for example, because I know you're going to talk about this. Yes, they're below the open of the month right now, but the open of the quarter was at 156.93. This is still a powerful stock in the third quarter. It's just not having a great 2 days.
Yep.
So that's about
a good point you're making.
Yeah, that's about all I've got. I think that, number one, be patient. The market's going to tell you what you need to do or what you need to be aware of. And number two, step back and have some perspective, because yes, these tech stocks are down. They're down big. You got the NASDAQ down 300 points right now. But man, is it still performing well for the third quarter. And this is just a factor of how high they went. And when stocks move really, really high in a short amount of time, there will be profit taking. It's just a question of how steep that profit taking is.
And the other thing too, volume right now, folks, with you're on vacation and in the world, and then even here in the States, you got a lot of people traveling. Volume is down quite a bit. So once the stock starts moving, it moves pretty quick. And that goes not only stocks, that's futures, that's everything. There's really rapid movement because the volume is down. Okay.
And Tom, at this point, I'm going to turn it back over to you, because I want to hear what you got to say about NVIDIA and a whole bunch of other stuff today.
Let's do it. All right, let's look at it. We try to start every session with an updated view of what the month really looks like to us. If you look there at the E-mini, you'll see it's still long. Notice the number there at the high of their 60. What is that? John, can you read that? 63.77. Is that right?
That's right.
And this morning, we came down. I gave that number yesterday. I said 63.75. You got to close above that number. This thing's going to get worse. So we're really at, and if you do some calculations and all that, not to overcomplicate it, market needs to hold here for this trend in August to continue. That's a good way of summing it up. Today's a hold day, is what I would say. You don't want to see new lows this afternoon. That tells you got another leg down will take and challenge, the opening of the month. And that would be a pretty big pullback from the fact that we were up. Jonathan, check this out for me. Where do you have the E-mini for the month of August? What are you showing E-mini for the month of August?
The month open is 63.59, and it did go down to 62 this morning.
Yeah, so it came down and tested the month open, didn't it?
Sure did.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that tells you how much selling hit the market, and the buyers stepped in, I guess. Now we got to see if there's enough buyers to stave off a breakdown for the month of August. Okay, that's good. This day's a real pivotal day for us. If you come down, crude oil still short. It's holding about 62.46. It's consolidating this week. Where did crude oil open the week at, Jonathan?
The week open on October crude is 62.19.
Yeah, so we're right around that area in the noise area, okay? And today we get a report out on employment or on oil reserves, so we'll see that number. Gold and silver are sideways. TLT still showing a short. That 115 pivot on the long line. I've studied numbers my whole career. That's the number you got to get above and stay above 115 to ensure. And we need to check when we finish this, Jonathan, at the current, what I would call the current projection on the odds for a rate cut come September. Okay, I'd like to look at the day prior to Powell's big announcement tomorrow. Okay. Tesla, I got some good news about Tesla. I've stayed away from Tesla because I figured that I just didn't like the extra risk. I think he's a great CEO, but he seems like he's come to the conclusion he's going to focus on his companies, and that's a good sign for investors. And if you look at Tesla, it might be setting up. If we get all stocks go down if the general wind's blowing that way. But I'll tell you this, Tesla is the cheapest of the big seven. If we turn around, this could be into the buy area the way I'm looking at it, maybe next week. Tesla. I would not have no fear about getting into Tesla down here at these prices. What was the 3-day high? 312. And Tesla right now, if you look at it, let's do that real quick. Handy dandy, 319. So we're in the zone. I got to look at Tesla seriously. Okay. LMT was a stock I thought would go higher. It has. You got a lot going on there in the Bitcoin area. ADM is a stock I want to own some long term. I hadn't got into it yet. I watch it every day. Uber is a stock that peaked out this week at 96.60, I think, something like that. And I'm still interested in Uber. This stock should, if we get a good market, should make it to 110 from here. And I'm looking for entries there on Uber. I even wrote out some numbers I'm looking at each day. That's on Uber. Let's see what else you got. Gold's nothing to me right now. Silver's more of a market I'm interested in. And Ethereum, there it is, supporting my idea about, hey, maybe it's time to stick your toe in the water on ETH. ETH. Yeah, I like ETH. Okay. Probably ought to add Berkshire back in here. We took it off. We probably want to add it in at some point. That's Berkshire. But this is updated for you, and we're going to be back today at 3:30. And Jonathan, why don't we go through this together and maybe eliminate some of these stocks we probably don't want to have or watch right now, okay? Just get our list narrowed down a little bit.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do that. for 330. But this is our foundation and, you know, a core part of what I'm looking at. So I say to you, welcome to Train and Trade. Welcome to it. Pretty cool. Monday through Friday, we're here. I already committed I'd do this again in September, so plan your month that way. In September, I'm planning on doing that, okay? Now remember, if I do any trades today, they will be tracked through the T-Buzz Talk and Trade. That way we got a record of what we do. We can go back and look what we need to change and that kind of stuff. So this is a very good way. You're a member of T-Buzz Talk and Trade. You got a double pay there by being a member. It's $200 a month. I think it's well worth it. Everybody tells me they're on scholarship, so we must be doing something right there, huh? Okay. Now, today's focus is tactics is used for trading credit spreads. The reason I picked Wednesday is tactics. What do I know about this week already? Here's what I know. I know where we opened the week at. Jonathan, tell us where we opened the week at on the E-mini.
The E-mini opened the week at 64.67.
So we're about 70 points below the week open. Day's Wednesday. So the odds favor what's going to work with credit spreads is on bear spreads. Does everybody see how I do that on Wednesday? Okay. And the reason I like to use TNT for that is because they expire Friday. Not a long life for those babies. And then you integrate your reference bars in, you've got something to talk about. That's one reason I called today a little training on the XSP in that last hour. Everybody understands if you got an expiration date beyond today, they trade the 415 on those indexes. Everybody know that rule? Okay. Okay. Now, this is a chart I've been watching for the greater part of 40 years. It just rings true. If you look at the slope, the closer you get to expiration, the more loss you're going to have by buying straight calls and straight puts. Does everybody get what I'm saying there? If you wait to expiration day, and we're talking about doing zero options, then XSP plays a part in that. After we make a directional trade, maybe in the morning, we can come back around that afternoon, 3:30, and put on an XSP trade. That is the strategy that I'm going to employ in my SPX/XSP. Everybody understand this graph? This is why people loses money. The majority of people lose money buying calls and buying puts. They hang in there and they go away for lunch, they come back and their options about 30 or 40% below where they bought it. I've never been an advocate of being just strictly in that block of trades. However, there's time and place for everything. Okay? But you got to be guarded against that time value loss when you do long calls or long puts. Now, selling options are good because when you sell options, right? You sell options, you are able to have that time factor along with the trend factor working for you. They're pretty lucrative if you have shortened days to expiration. You know, when I first started in this business, we used to say the third Friday of every month was payday because that's when these options would expire. Can't say that anymore because they expire every day with the indexes. They expire sometimes Wednesday for certain tickers, and then the highly volatile or highly active options expire every Friday. Really gives you a lot of opportunity to use credit spreads. And my focus will be on those weekly options. I like the weekly options. Most likely from Tuesday to Friday is my time frame. Now, if you identify the current weekly trend, you got to make sure that you pick your time inside of that trend. And yesterday we spent time talking about the 2-bar approach. Now we're getting into a 2-bar on a daily followed by a intraday. Okay. Using the XSP, that's one of my favorite go-to markets. That's one reason I wanted to include those trades inside my SPX service, is because I felt like that I can have these babies clicking off for us without a lot of exposure, and using both to go the same way and the opposite way of my direction, because the time really clicks off these suckers. And they have tax advantages, and there's a lot of opportunities with XSP, okay? Very lucrative if we get the trend right. So we're gonna get the trend right because I'm gonna teach you how to do it. Here's some XSP key stats. The ATR line goes about 6 points. If you look at the monthly open, okay, we're 11 points up from the month right now. If you look at the weekly open, we're about 8 points down from where we open the week. And the current price is 637, let's call it 638, right now in today's market. So you've got a market, if you had a short and expiration date, you'd want to be on the sell side. And I'll show you this afternoon how to calculate the strike prices. That's important to pick the right one, right? So at 3:30 today, I'll show you the one I'm going to do or what I'm thinking about. The strike price, the expiration date will be 1 to 4 days. And, but I like doing the XSP from a credit side, okay? The same day expiration. You can also use same day expiration by waiting till after Genesis. And notice what I've been saying on SPX, I really want to be out of those long calls or longs put by Genesis. Everybody understand why I do that with that option just melting on me the way it does? Does everybody understand that? You need to understand that fact. You can't let greed or fear get in the way. You just got to say goodbye to being long or short. Yeah, every now and then you'll hit what we call a home run, but I can promise you, you'll have a lot more strikeouts. You won't make the batting order if you keep doing that. So it's a shift during the day. The shift during the day goes from an option buyer, puts or calls, using the SPX, to an option seller doing XSP. Does everybody understand the brilliance of doing this? This is brilliant, folks, I'm telling you. We're going to maximize the sweet spot in this program, okay? This is what I'm so excited about, because once I teach you this, you have a day like yesterday, you can go in there and make some money while you're waiting for your bullish stocks to find a bottom. You don't have to sit there and just take it, have your face pulled. You can take advantage of it, okay? Number one play would have been to buy a put in the morning. Number two play would be to sell a call in the afternoon where it would expire worthless today. How you like that? 2 trades in one day? I love it. Now, Genesis is a nickname I've given our reference bar Y from 11:30 to 12. You know, we just entered that period right now. It's 11:32. This is a key time during the day. Does everybody here know why this is such an important time? Well, Europe is closed and US traders now are fully in control of what we're doing. Okay? And either the low will be created or a high be created by the current market. And I'll tell you how you can tell that this afternoon if you show up. I've got a little telltale sign I use that works pretty good. Now, I prefer to buy options before 11:30. Then I switch to selling options in the afternoon. Simple technique I've learned in many years. You ought to do this. You'll find your results will be a lot better just by understanding that technique. you ought to write it down and you start thinking about buying an option. I'm talking about, now look, folks, I'm talking about buying a call or buying a put. Everybody understand there's a difference of a spread, but buying a call or buying a put. Do that before 12. Okay. Now, next day expiration is what I like, because if you're using an expiration of the next day or even 2 days out, you're waiting near the end of the day. That's why I picked for the program we're going to do 3:30 to 4. Does everybody see the rationale behind it? Does everybody see the rationale why I want to do that selling at the end of the day? Okay. So how hard is it to learn credit spreads? I know a lot of you are new to options, but think of it this way. First, I'll establish support and resistance from any ticker I'm using. And we have tools to help us. Let me explain. Palantir, 155. That was today's opening price on Palantir. Let me double check that, see if I get that right. Yeah, 155. 152, that was the high of today. 155. Okay. 152.58 was where it opened, and 147.80 was its low. Palantir right now is back up to 150, but it's not above the opening price of 152.58. Okay. Everybody see how I do that? Okay. NVIDIA opened at 175, and that was its high today, and the low was 170. NVIDIA right now is 172.30. So basically, using my technique, you're able to have a pivot number for these stocks after the first 30 minutes. Does everybody understand that? You take the opening high and low of the first 30 minutes to get these kind of numbers, right? I'll show you the value of why I said what I said at the beginning about ETH and about Berkshire. We'll go to that with a live market, okay? Now the SPX, let's talk about it. The XPX opened this morning at 64.08 or 06, and the high was 64.08. It went down at 63.64. SPX did. That was its low in the first 30 minutes. It followed through. If you look at the low of the SPX, it went down to 63.43 from that opening. Do you know how many points the SPX runs in a typical day? About 60-something points. What's 60-something points from the high of the day? Do the math. Where would it put support step in? Come on, y'all figure that out. Take 64.8 minus 60 points. I'm going to see some math here. 63.48, okay? And the low of the day for the SPX, let me look at it, 63.40. That's close enough for government work, isn't it? If you were long a put and that if you were going for all the gusto, you'd have known to cover your put down there. Everybody understand the power of that? You're going to love this program I got. Now let's talk about the power of the SPX. You know it's a big boy. It's a big contract. It's a huge contract for people trying to make money, okay? Now, this is the Jonathan, you did this slide right before we got here, right? So we made our low, and the market right now for the SPX is climbing up here during Genesis. Would everybody agree with that statement? In fact, we got a higher high coming into Genesis at 63.83. In fact, the midpoint High and low today would be 53.76. So right now, the market has turned negative to neutral. Notice I said negative to neutral, okay? Everybody see that? What I'm going to teach and make sure you can learn is the following. Okay. This morning, yesterday I think it was yesterday, didn't I have the class yesterday with the setup that I taught the people in my SPX, the setup?
Yeah, we did, Tom. That was our first bonus session. Yep.
Yeah, you call it Masterclass Unlimited, right? Okay. Well, this morning, when it was set up, I bought a put at $2 and I exited that put at $7.90. I only did one contract because I was testing out the setup, make sure it showed me everything I need to make that decision. Now, if you do the math on that, Jonathan, you put up $200 and you sell it for $7.90, that's $590 on a one lot. Does that get people's attention when they see they have that power? Then notice something else. I want to tell you something else, the rest of the story. Time-wise, it's 11:39. That option right now at 12 o'clock, the one I bought this morning, is at $2.15. You see how the time value and the direction play hand in hand with each other. Does everybody see that? This should make everybody here say to themselves, I got to learn this. That's what I'm teaching. And that's what we're going to trade during this period. Yeah. One of the students said he just practiced what I'm teaching and he saw the value when he saw it play out. Now remember, my goal for new SPX beta program is to get everybody accurate at 70%. I believe I can do that. I don't care if you're new to trading. I don't care if you've been around. I will show you techniques, okay, to take advantage of it. Neil, I bought it about 10 minutes to 9 or 10 minutes to 10. I bought that option about 10 minutes to 10. That's the estimate, okay? Now, the beta program I'm talking about is trading SPX and SSP. Now, we're going to start working on the XSP, and we're going to put it all together where we can focus next Tuesday to start our beta phase, Tuesday and Thursday for trading. Time frame 1, 9:30 to 10:45. Time frame 2, 3:30 to 4. I will do 10 trades during the last 2 weeks of August. That's my goal, 10, okay? That'll be my plan. Simple and straightforward. Let me ask the question. Those who have bought the program, are you pretty excited what I'm doing here so far? How I'm going step by step to teach you how to make this a big success for yourself. Now, here's my goal. I'll tell you what my goal is. When I got everybody doing this, I feel like I'll score a home run. I'm trying for 70% accuracy, okay? And if we can do that right there, people will be lined up, okay? Gary said he's thrilled with one word. Michael, put your name, email, and phone number in here. We'll have somebody reach out to you and get you set. Now, if you're ready to join me for this education trading, okay, you can go direct to SP Pro, get into the room, and I have a whole series of master classes beyond this, okay? And we'll definitely take advantage of it, okay? I'm going to take you, my goal is to take you places you don't even know you can go yet once I get this thing working. But I got to teach first. And that's what I'm doing now, just teaching, because I want everybody to kick off September 15th, rocking and rolling. Well, you got it now, David. I know how. I've got the window. I know how to do it. You're going to love it. A lot of classes. Using those together is also going to be important. Like this morning, I let it run beyond my initial target because everything said to let it run. How to recognize if it's a bad trade and it's a loser. Different expiration dates with XSP to diversify the week. Probably the biggest reason people lose. The main reason traders lose with XSP. How to organize your platform. This is important to have the right platform. Insights to order entry and exit is not traditionally taught. Using DTI reference bars to refine your timing, and a big picture plan. A big picture plan to make sure this works for you. That's my whole goal. Yeah, we'll do that, Cherry. That's no problem. So let's review. The name of the service, SPX, beta program. You get in the room right away. We're already starting with information in there. We've got one master done. We'll have another one, as we go. The beta time period will last on September 15th, at which time your subscription will run. I'm going to make sure everybody is ready to go full speed. The Telegram channel. I think this is a important part, especially with this SPX. At 9:45 in the morning, if it's a buy, we're going to post it right in the Telegram channel, and you'll know where to go do it. I will have two times, 9:45 and 10:30, and 3:30 to 4. As many as 100 new trades over the next. I will make sure we do at least 100 trades. So if you think about that, that's pretty good. We're doing the master classes, no limit during the thing. So you got to tell me what you need to learn, but I know things that we got to do. The whole key is get your accuracy up, which you can apply to other things you do in the market. Okay. If we achieve our goals with accuracy and risk, this will be your go-to trade each day. You can trade it each day if you want to. Yeah, Brandon, we get Jonathan to give you a call. Here's the membership. If you want to take, notice I only got 60 spots left. This will be gone, and we won't accept any more after we get rid of those 6. That means 40 people have joined, and 60 are open, and we're talking about it all day long. Michael, I'm going to teach you in the training how to avoid the pattern day trade rule. Sherry just asked me to teach her, and I said, absolutely, she's in the program. Okay? All right, so what I'd like to do, Jonathan, is let's go to a live market real quick, and let's look at Berkshire Hathaway, and let's look at ETH.
Berkshire. First 30-minute chart.
Yeah, I don't see it. Are you bringing the chart up? There it is. Okay, this is Berkshire.
This is a 30-minute chart of Berkshire.
Yeah, notice Berkshire went higher than RB3. Can you circle that where they can see what I'm talking about? And notice that now in Genesis, it is down at the low end of Genesis, meaning it might have hit its high for today. That might be what it's saying. Okay? At this particular time, I wouldn't be buying Berkshire. Okay? But it's bullish for today. That was the point I was making. Now let's go to ETH, see how it looks on the scale.
All right, ETH, 30-minute chart.
ETH still looks good to me. If you take out that high, what's that high, Jonathan? 40 something?
Call it
41.
55.
Yeah, I'd say if it goes above 40.55, it won't be too late to buy some more today. I bought 3 different times today. I bought on a probe, then I bought when it made a new high reference bar, and then I bought on that bar after the reference bar. So I bought 3 times so far now to build a position. Okay, that's ETH. All right, so what we're going to do next, Jonathan, why don't we go on and play the long version of SPX for everybody? And I will see, I guess Adam will handle that, or you or somebody, but I'll see everybody at 3:30. That's an add-on flash meeting this afternoon. We're going to talk about XSP.
Yeah, let me get that set up here. We'll play our session from Monday night.
Sound like a plan. Risk involved in trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. And you can read the details, but the bottom line is you got to manage risk and you got to keep a balanced approach to trading. Now, this came off the press, and this is one reason I wanted to get it to you. I haven't let me put it this way. I'm breaking ground on the SPX, and you can look here. Jim from California just took one of my classes, but this is even going to be more special. Does that get your attention? Is that attention getting step that was posted less than an hour ago? Does that get your attention when you see something like that? That's a student just like you that listened and learned, and now he is putting some pretty substantial dollars in his bank account because of that. And that's why tonight I'm talking about this. That came in at 6:11 tonight. Tonight we have Adam, Denise, Kevin, Victor, Chad, Jeffrey, Kelly, Carissa here on the lines to help you out. Adam, if you can post their email too, because a lot of times the phones get jammed up, and if they got the email, they could reach out and grab somebody, okay? Now, for the folks that don't know who I am, I'm Tom Busby. I've been doing this a long time, active trader, former member of Chicago Mercantile Exchange. I've been an active trader a long time. I have 3 books, Winning the Day Trading Game, The Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. In my opinion, if you learn what I teach you tonight, when you got involved in trading, when you decided you wanted to trade and invest, this is what you were looking for and hoping to learn what I'm teaching tonight. And this is something that will propel your ability to accomplish your goals if you'll listen and learn and be part of it. Okay? Now, Seven Sisters, you look at it right now, the market's still bullish. Today it was resting, and tomorrow will be an interesting day. My 10 plays for the week right here, I posted those last night. These are the tickers: Palantir, NVIDIA, Reddit, TQQ, SPY, QQQ, Hood, Cisco, Apple, and Gold. Now, warning, I said, Adam, put this in there because I don't want you to think this was easy. This was not easy to get here tonight. I think SPX is one of the toughest markets I've ever attacked or learned to trade. And I've traded futures, I've traded all of them. And I didn't get there overnight. But by staying disciplined with a goal in mind, I built a simple, repeatable system that fits the opening hour. That way, you're ready and I'm ready to share this with you as part of my beta group. Now, what are the SPX and XSP? Just briefly, they reference the full index, a large contract, very big. And then they break it down to the mini version, which is XSP, about 1/10 the size, okay, of the SPX. just to give you an idea of how big this contract is and the power of the punch. The power of the punch. The two tactics we focus on for the SPX, this is my rules, this is what I focus on. I buy call options. How many people here know how to buy a call option? Tell me now if you know how to buy a simple call option. That's where the focus, my focus on the SPX is. When the tape and timing align, aiming for a clean, same day rule. The second part is XSP, where I sell short direction credit spreads, typically 1 to 3 days to expiration when the structure develops or favors defined risk. This is the power of putting these two together or trading them individually, which means it accomplishes everything you ever wanted to accomplish when it came to investing or trading. Now, what I'll do from time to time, if I get a market, I'll buy the call option, which means I want the market to go up, and I'll go sell a spread on the XSP, two instruments, separate goals. I'll teach you how to do this, pairing the directional intent with structured risk, not hedging anything or guessing. This is a high odds type trade I'm going to teach as one of the options that you might want to do. My plan going forward, I'll use the rest of August as a beta test on Tuesday and Thursday between 9:45 and 10:30. 9:45 and 10:30. I'll be focusing on the SPX during that time period. 9:45 and 10:30. Last week we held session 1 of our master class. We finished that up this week on Thursday. And there's Jim talking about it, doing what he did. They already got it posted. He did it today. He attended my master class and learned some pretty serious information. Okay? Now that sets up the start of the beta time period for the trading program next week. That's the plan. In other words, I'm going to get you, before your actual subscription to this service starts, up to speed through training, education, by doing trades that some people can do, other people need to learn how to do. I don't want to leave anybody behind. How many people like that idea where we go slow and then kick off the real deal in September? Everybody like that approach? That's what I'm going to do for this service. What is the SPX beta program? It's a new service trading both the SPX and XSP. We'll focus right now on Tuesday and Thursday for trading. The time frame will be in the morning, 9:30 to 10:45, and in the afternoon from 3:30 to 4. I plan to give about 10 trades over the next 2 weeks during the August beta test period. My goal by doing that is to make sure everybody's up to speed before we enter into September. I'll make the beta program simple and straightforward. We'll focus on getting our accuracy to 70% or better. How many people would like to have the comfort of knowing that when you traded a long call or a long put, you were 70% accurate? I'm going to teach you how to do it in the next 2 weeks. It's not hard, but you'll have to listen and learn. Now here's a look, what would happen if we can hit our goals with these 10 trades? If we're 70% accurate, using the profile I set up, you will make 7 winners, $280. You'll have 3 losers. You'll make a gross of $1960, and you'll lose $750, which means our goal at the end of beta would be at 1210. Everybody follow the math there? This is the setup I'm going to teach, and that's our profit goal over those 10 trades. That's where I got to get everybody to before we start the service, in my opinion. $400, Gwen, takes $400 to do what I'm talking about. Does that get you excited, Gwen? $400. Okay. Now, for those who join today, you'll have a unique opportunity to supercharge your results. After signing up, you'll be offered a chance to add SPX Pro Masterclass Series to your order. This will only be offered tonight or up to the limit of people that buy the program. Over the next year, I will do that to take you to the next tier of education and trading. I plan to hold an additional 10 SPX XSP training sessions at key times throughout the year. Everybody understand that? This is once the service starts. Once the service starts. Only those who take action and join will be qualified to add on these additional training sessions. Now, here's the training sessions. I want to go through these where you understand how to use these two vehicles, SPX and XSP together. That's a topic I will cover. The 5 criteria I use to let the SPX run. In other words, I call it run to the roses after entry. How to recognize within 15 minutes. This is a beauty one here. This one here is worth a fortune to you. How to recognize within 15 minutes if an SPX trade is a loser. How many people could use something like that? Using different expiration dates with XSP to diversify the week. That's a class. The main reason traders lose with SPX. I figured it out. After losing a little bit, I figured out why people lose. It's a timing issue, right? Time of day. The main reason traders lose with XSP. How to organize your trading platform to monitor your trades. You got to know that one. Insights to how to enter the orders and exit that is not traditionally taught. I'll show you what I do. And using our reference bars to refine your timing. And a big picture plan to make sure this works for you. That's the big one there. Sort of to sum it all up to make sure everybody's on the same sheet of music. Pretty outstanding master classes there, isn't it, on the topics. Let's review the SPX 0-day alert beta offer. You ready? These are all included with the additional offer after you sign up tonight.
I think the slide reversed right there.
Huh?
It looks like those 2 slides were reversed. There we go.
Okay. Let's review the SPX 0-day beta offer. Beta time period will last until September 15th, which means I will put the time with you to make sure I get you to our 70% accuracy rate, at which time on September 15th, your subscription will start. Does everybody understand that? I'm not going to leave anybody behind. I will do what I need to do to make sure you experience the joy to have this under your control, at which time we'll start. We're going to do it through the Telegram channel. And this is the beautiful part. How many people are always having to look for trades when you're notified in a trade service? You got to go find one. How many people, are trying to find it, and then, by the time you get there, the trade's over? I'm not going to do that with this service. I'm going to post the trades directly into the Telegram channel, i.e., buy the SPX, pay this price, exit this price. We're wrong here. It will be typed in there in simple language. Anybody here can understand. You won't have to hesitate. It'll be right there. And the beautiful thing about it, you'll know the time it's going to be typed. Here's an example. If I was buying the SPX, buying a long call, had an August expiration, I'd give you the date. I'd tell you the strike price, where to enter, where the target was, and where we're wrong. Simple, straightforward. Everybody got it? Won't be any mistake for getting tied up on your computer. You'll have it right there on your channel. Now, remind you, I will be doing this twice a day on Tuesday and Thursday, SPX 9:45 to 10:30, and 3:30 to 4. Now, here's what you can expect. Once the service starts, there will be over 100 trades over the next year. You do the math. Master classes held during the beta time period is to get you ready to get your accuracy up. That's important to me. I don't want you to be at 30% accurate. I don't want you to be 40% accurate. I want everybody here to be 70% accurate. So the master class, no limit, goes into effect starting tomorrow. Everybody understand that? I want everyone to be up to speed trading at high accuracy and hitting your goals before the service starts. I've never offered a course quite like this before. I've never had the opportunity to play this game that we call trading so easy. No, straight calls, straight puts on the SPX. So you must act now to be part of it. Limitation. Here's the only limitation that's going to stop you. I'm only accepting 100 people. That's right, 100 people. We're going to cut it off after that. We got more than enough people in here to take all the subscriptions, so don't hesitate. Okay? Do not hesitate. Keep in mind, I value accuracy if you know the way I trade. If you have 70% accuracy, it lowers your risk. Let's review. In May, I was 93% accurate. You were there with me, most of you. In June, I threw a perfect month out there, 27 for 27. I went face to face with you and was perfect there. I value accuracy. With accuracy in the SPX, it is a great combination to grow your account, maybe going from small to big, okay? In July, 86% accuracy. You get the idea how accurate I am at trading? I'm going to teach you to get 70% accurate with the SPX. It might be higher. I won't limit you if you're shooting at 80 or 90, but we're going to plan for 70, okay? If we achieve our goals with the accuracy and the risks that we outline, this will be a go-to trade each and every day for you. If you want it, you will have the knowledge, the ability to take advantage of what I'm teaching. In other words, regardless of what the stock market does, you'll have the freedom to trade with accuracy on any day you choose. Your freedom to take those trades, once you have this knowledge, is worth a fortune to you. You're not limited by news or anything else. Now, when it comes to market timing, Bill says no one's better. A lot of people would type in here, if I said, how would you rate my market timing? They would say, from 0 to 10. Let's say I'm pretty good. Now it's time you get your timing up to 70%. One guy just posted, Dave just posted 15. That's pretty good. Kerry said off the charts. Can I do it? Yes, I can do it. That's why I'm giving myself a month of these classes to teach everybody how to do it. The membership is $2,000. It will start September 15th. You sign up right now. We get started tomorrow. We start working towards our goals. I will review after we do the trades, and we got good. Oh, I got to tell you, folks, we've already had out of the 100 early people, we're down to 95, just to let you know. They're flying off the shelf right now, okay? Pretty good stuff. How do you get the best results? Well, you're going to learn what I teach you. I've structured a training program to teach you to trade the SPX. Pretty cool, isn't it? What if your account's small? Has anybody ever had to deal with pattern day trading? Well, guess what I'm going to do tomorrow morning? I'm going to show you a simple technique that you can trade as many times as you want to trade during the day, regardless of the size of your account. How you like that one? That's going to be in the class I teach tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that everybody has that opportunity, okay, if they want to trade. Pretty good stuff. What size account do you need? Minimum, I say 2,000 for this. What size account do you need? Minimum 2,000, okay? Will I be able to do the trade? Absolutely. If I'm going to take the next almost month to make sure you understand how to do it, you will be able to do the trade. You won't be in a program you don't know how to do the trades. You'll be in a program you know how to do the trades. Like I said, this has got a lot of effort put in it to make it work for you, and you just need to get signed up. Where can you find the trades? All you got to do is look in the Telegram channel. You don't have to hunt around. They'll be there between those hours when they're set up, okay? Pretty good stuff. Why is it limited to 100 during the beta program? Very simple. I'm limited to 100 during the beta program because I want to make sure that everybody that has enough ability to get started will be successful. I'm going to have a base of 100 very successful people if you take this journey with me. Can you do this in a retirement account? Absolutely, you can do it in a retirement account. No problem. Is there anyone you can call if I have questions about the trade? Absolutely. I'll give you the email and we'll make sure that no one has that issue. We'll take care of it. Jonathan and I will take care of that portion, okay? Sign up at dtitrader.com, SPX beta, and make it happen. If you're new to trading, will it work for you? There's no simpler trade than buying a call option, okay? There's no simpler trade than buying a put option. I've been doing that for 40-something years. I will show you. And the beautiful thing about it, you're not risking a fortune to buy it when you're wrong. Is there a refund policy? You have 14 days. 14 days. Then you got to say, I'm in or out. 1 year membership, $2,000. We start tomorrow. The class tomorrow, I will cover the setup for the SPX, what I'm looking for, and some of the things that get in your way of making money. We'll do that tomorrow at 9:45. Who's going to be there with me? Okay. This is a bonus session tomorrow. Get signed up now. If you got any questions, you can call. Adam, type in the names of people here to help him if they got questions. Seems like we got a whole bunch of people taking these spots off the table. Get signed up now. DTItrader.com/SPX beta or call 904-706-3532. John, if you got a question, okay? Call that number. Folks, I laid it out for you. It's simple, it's straightforward. If I can't do any more than this to make and put the odds in your favor where you can grow your account. Yeah, if you want somebody to call, type your name, email, and phone number, they will call you. I know the phones are jacked sometimes. Make sure if you can't get through, type your name and there. Perry, do not wait. Call and talk with one of the salespeople. They'll help you there. I want you to be here and make some money with us, okay? That's our goal. Absolutely. I'll teach the class on Thursday, the second part of the class, okay? I'll record all the classes. Great question, Nancy, okay? Carrie says, I won't sleep tonight. I'm so excited. Perfect. Charles, this is learned SPX. Focus on that. Any other questions? Some good questions coming in. Way to go, Glenn. Glenn joined. A lot of people's joined. Steve joined, James joined, Frank joined. Wow. Yeah, put your name and email in there. Make sure you get included in the 100. I don't know, Charles. You had to talk to call in and ask the question. Okay. Yeah, William. The straight puts and straight calls are day trades, but I'll show you if you can't take a day trade, you'll just have to do it, okay? No, this is Debbie. This is on the SPX. Brandon, call in and tell the sales person, and they'll take care of it, okay? Gary, put your name and email and phone number in there and somebody will call you. Yeah, Glenn, you can do that if you want to. Absolutely. We're going to have some fun in the sun. Any other questions? I'm getting good questions. Yeah, you'll get an email invite tonight to join in the morning.
Hey, T-Buzz, one thing I was going to add, right now, you're just going to get, once you sign up, you're going to get an invite. You're going to get an email that invites you to join the Telegram channel.
Okay.
During this beta period, we'll be building out the members area so that it has all the recordings that you do of the master classes and such. So I just wanted to let people know you're not going to go there and see the master classes because we're still doing them over this beta period.
Gotcha. No, I'm with you, but in other words, the main thing they want to do is get into the Telegram channel because that's where we'll post the next class when we're doing these things during the beta period, correct?
Those are going to what end up being the members area.
Yeah, I got you. But what I'm saying is, like tomorrow, I've got a class. How would they get the link? For that?
So once they sign up, they get an email that has a link to the Telegram, and then we'll also email the information to them as well.
Okay, I got it. You'll get two things. We'll post it also into the Telegram channel. The link.
Yep.
Going forward, I'll focus on Tuesday and Thursday unless there's a special opportunity. And we'll talk about it at the end of the beta period. This is your program. I'm building around what you need, okay? That's the whole goal, okay? To build it around what you need, okay? I want to make sure my first goal is get everybody 7 out of 10 accurate. Once I do that, the rest the wins and the wins easy. Okay? That's the first goal. But you got to learn a few things to do that, and that's what tomorrow and whenever this I can get you back in there to do it. Okay? Yeah, Pete, that is the second half of what I started with, but I didn't want to wait. Let me ask you a question. Are you glad I didn't wait for all those people that saw what Jim posted? Are you glad I didn't wait and we're starting early tomorrow? Tell me, aren't you glad? I'm glad. Glenn says, I'm happy. They'll do it, Sherry. Don't worry. Remember, we're limited to 100 people. You got to remember that point, so don't hesitate. And you don't want to be behind the 8 ball before we get started. If you need any help, you can talk to one of our salespeople. They'll figure it out for you, okay? They're here to help you. I promise you they'll help you. I don't want anybody that wants to do it. The average cost of the long calls will be around $200, Clay, $200. That will vary a little bit depending on the volatility, but that's it. Glenn says we already got 11 in the Telegram channel already. We're gonna be out of slots if we keep talking, right, Glenn? I'm pretty excited about this. I hope you are. I think we're going to have a really great program. The reason I'm calling it a beta is because I want, unlike most things, I want everybody to start their subscription fully educated and ready to take advantage of it. Okay? Everybody understand that? And I will teach you things. Yes, yeah, Jeanette, it is. It is on Thursday, okay? That's the scheduled class. This one tomorrow is added on for this program. Fern wants to see the links for the class, or the links for the slides. You might repost it out if somebody got here late, okay? I don't want them to miss out because they showed up late, okay? Any more questions? It can be as little as $100, Karen, okay? But for the long call, long put around $200 per contract. Does everybody understand why I'm putting so much importance, if you're playing long calls and long puts, on accuracy? Does everybody understand why I'm putting so much importance on teaching you that? Got to understand that. That's very important. Clay, I will teach you tomorrow, if you got a small account, how to handle this, okay? Well, folks, I laid it out on the table for you. Anybody got any more questions for me? Let me tell you, I would price this around $5,000 if I wasn't going to do this beta group, because after the beta group, I might just price it that way. Okay. That's why you want to take this big part of the beta group. You'll get so much more out of it. Folks, thank you so much. The sign up will be open, Clay, until we hit 100 people. Okay? Jeanette, if you'll talk to one of the salespeople, they'll work it out for you. Okay? Maybe half or, whatever. They'll figure it out for you. All right. What you got to remember tonight, if you get signed up, be there at 9:45 in the morning. 9:45 in the morning. If you got here late, would you like Adam to replay the session? They want you to replay it, Adam, so I'm gonna bow out and let you replay it.
Sounds good. Thank you, T-Buzz.